Hey there, beautiful souls. I'm Coach Liz, and welcome to the Self-Love Lounge, where we're about to embark on a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and all things love, which you know is my favorite. In this cozy corner of the podcast world, we're going to dive deep into the conversations that matter most to us: love, relationships, and the beautiful chaos of everyday life. Picture this as your safe haven, a space where you can be unapologetically you. Whether you're sipping your favorite tea, out on a walk, or multitasking through life's craziness, this is your place to hit pause, breathe, and connect. I've been a transformative life coach now for just 1 year, and let me tell you, the journey to self-love is messy, it's real, and it's incredibly rewarding. In the Self-Love Lounge, we're going to share stories, explore challenges, and find inspiration in the everyday moments that shape us. It's like a cozy chat with your best friend, who just happens to be your coach, sprinkled with a little touch of magic. So grab your favorite blanket, get comfy, and let's embark on this beautiful journey together. Hey there, beautiful souls. Are you ready to dive into a journey of healing, triumph, and new beginnings? Look no further than Rattled Awake Volume 7, a powerful collection of stories, including one from your very own Coach Elizabeth. In the latest edition of Rattled Awake, I share my inspiring story packed with valuable tips and lessons I've learned along the way. It's a tale of resilience, self-discovery, and the transformative power of self-love. Ready to embark on your own journey of self-discovery? Grab your copy of Rattled Awake Volume 7 today on Amazon. Don't miss out on this opportunity to enrich your soul and empower your spirit. Get your copy now and let the journey begin. Remember, every page is a step closer to your own awakening. Find Rattled Awake Volume 7 on Amazon today. Happy reading! Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Self-Love Lounge. I'm so excited to be with you today, and today I am going to be sharing my story, the story I wrote in Rattled Awake. It was an awakening moment for me and one that shook me to the core. It helped me realize all that I had been stuffing down and sheltering from myself and the rest of the people that I loved and cared about. It wasn't until I was rattled awake that I realized that for too long I had been living a lie, one that was not serving me or anyone else, one that needed to be shook and awake in order to have the truth come out and revealed so that life could change for the better, for the people I love, and for, most importantly, the person that needed it the most, myself. Thank you for being with me today. I so appreciate you listening to my story, as it is one that lies dear in my heart and one that has helped me in my own journey of healing and transformation. My work and the work I get to do every day is truly a joyful experience because I get to give back my pain that I sat in for so long and give it a purpose, give it a name, and help others who are sitting in that dark place and are unable to see the light and the way out, who normalize their lives and the pain they're feeling, whether it's just feeling stuck, lonely, angry, unsure, whatever the pain or the feeling may be, we tend to normalize that as a way of survival. But I'm here to tell you, it does not have to be the way you live. There is another way, and I'm here to show you that way. In my story, Rattled Awake, I give you a glimpse into my own story so that I can share with you how I normalized my own story in hopes that you'll see some similarities in yours and help you break through that. I also give tips and tricks and ways to work through those moments, things to notice and see, sprinkled with a little inspiration and love. So let's get started. So my story is called Embracing the Messy Middle. The beatdown was the moment I woke up. It wasn't painful. It was pale in comparison to the years I held my breath to keep the peace, live the lie, and keep it all together. My expression blanching. I laid there speechless, shaking, shocked at what was happening. I didn't swing back. I just laid there taking it, one after another. In the moment, expecting my husband to come to my rescue, but then remembering he was too intoxicated to save me. He couldn't even save himself. The next morning, when I lay in bed, black and blue and in pain, I wasn't offered Advil or a bag of frozen peas. It was expected that I would get up, suck it up, and keep going just like every morning after a bender. This one was different, however. I couldn't just silence myself. I needed to talk to him about it. When I asked him in the nicest way possible to leave those people out of our lives, he firmly and shockingly responded, "Absolutely not." Red flags in a relationship that are important to recognize. 1, lack of remorse. It's concerning when there's no acknowledgement or remorse for harmful actions, such as the incident the night before. 2, lack of care. When there's no support or care after a traumatic event, such as offering to take care of you or provide comfort, something to be aware of. That is not normal. 3, absence of anger. A red flag is raised when there's no indication of anger towards those who caused harm to you, showing a lack of protective instinct. Now, it doesn't mean that the emotion does not exist or reside within you. You're just so numb to your outside circumstances that you're not attached to the way you feel and can't recognize that feeling within you because you're so disassociated and detached from yourself. 4, normalization of behavior. Insisting on continuing with daily activities as if nothing happened, despite the severity of the situation, indicates a concerning level of normalization of harmful behavior. Normalization of behavior. We can insist on keep going, right? Because that is what is expected. Keep going, suck it up, you're fine, I'm fine. Those are red flags, guys. And 5, alcohol as a catalyst. Recognizing that the root cause of these issues lies in alcohol abuse is crucial. It is important to address the underlying problem to prevent further harm. I don't know how many times I said to my mother, "Everybody drinks. It's normal." I normalized the amount of times we went to the bar and drank. I normalized the amount of drinking we were consuming and doing because that is what helped me, right? It was a coping mechanism and a way to normalize my life and be in that survival mode. And a lot of times when we're in that place of survival, we don't even realize it. We're not recognizing it for what it is. It's not until we step outside of that we can even really be able to start recognizing the problem that lies there, right? So sometimes we have to be able to take a step back to take a couple steps forward. I found myself unsurprised, though, still bewildered by our familiar pattern of sweeping things under the rug, pretending all was well. Even as I bore bruises like a walking canvas resembling a spotted leopard, it seemed inconsequential. After all, the show must go on. At that moment, a wave of emotions engulfed me: rage, frustration, sadness. But I pushed them aside and soldiered on as planned. It wasn't the first time I had buried my emotions. It had become a routine for me. I discovered that maintaining harmony was simpler than confronting the tumultuous emotions that bubbled within me. We had a boat trip scheduled with friends from work, and as we set sail, it was evident they were taken aback by my presence, as I was. My husband dismissed it with a laugh, attributing it to a night of too much fun. It was a flimsy excuse, and we all knew it. Yet, we chose to ignore the elephant in the room. But that wasn't the end of it. Once again, my husband drowned himself in alcohol, parading around the lake with a young blonde on his shoulders, leaving me in a state of disbelief and longing for escape. The sad truth was, I wish she would take him off my hands. Witnessing this, I'm sure those around us questioned why I tolerated such behavior. Frankly, I questioned it myself. The only respite came when he passed out at at the dinner table, allowing me a moment of solace to focus on myself. His blatant disregard for my feelings was gut-wrenching, leaving me speechless, humiliated, and exhausted. I knew others pitied me, sympathizing with the torment I endured, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was complicit, allowing it to persist. Silently suffocating, I chose to keep the peace, to avoid the tumult, enduring a slow erosion of self with each passing day. It was death by 1,000 paper cuts, each one chipping away at whatever remained of me. It's true that you don't realize you're holding your breath until you exhale. There were moments like these that played a loop so often, I wore out the tape. Meet me at the bar, his text would read, offering him a reprieve from his wrath. I struggled to strike a balance between appeasing him and fulfilling my duties as a mother to our children, but often he emerged victorious. Shame weighed heavily upon me. What began as one drink after work gradually spiraled into nights spent at the bar, leaving our children to fend for themselves with a pizza order while we stumbled home in a drunken haze. That battle at the bar began to demand more attention than my own flesh and blood. I attempted to rationalize with myself, slipping into the role I yearned to embody, hoping it would somehow outweigh all the nonsense. There we sat, the picture-perfect family, gathered around the table in our cozy home, indulging in good food with smiles plastered on our faces, pretending as always that everything was normal. Little did anyone know, moments before we sat down, we had been engaged in a fierce battle. This was the unsettling norm in our household. The moments preceding his drinking were the most harrowing, as his words sliced through the air like a sharpened blade. I lost count of how many times I heard him belittle our daughter with hurtful words. His words, dumbass, echoed within me, each repetition adding weight to its validity. I witnessed the harm he inflicted upon her, yet felt powerless to intervene. I knew every time I said something, the response would be, I was just kidding, or my name drawn out, Liz. I understood it as a command to stay out of his path. So what did I do? I retreated, feeling like a coward, weary of enduring his unjust tirades and senseless provocations. Are you more inclined to preserve the tranquility around you or nurture the peace within you? A question I challenge you to ponder. I owe a debt of gratitude to the women who jolted me from my slumber. My seemingly idyllic existence, akin to a silent movie, was built upon falsehoods and deceit. It was a time when two imperfect souls each brought their own chaos, leading to a mountain of turmoil and deceit, and a yearning for something different. Despite their desire for change, they found themselves trapped in their own patterns, unable to break free. Identifying more red flags in my relationship. 1. Deception to conceal truth. Concealing truth and disregard for feelings are alarming indicators of deeper issues within the relationship. 2. Inappropriate attention to another woman. Behaviors such as giving attention to another woman inappropriately, especially in my presence, signify a lack of respect and boundary violation. 3. Excessive drinking leading to blackouts. The pattern of excessive drinking leading to unconsciousness is not only concerning, but dangerous for both parties involved. 4. Caretaking after disrespect. Being forced to care for a grown adult after being disrespected is a clear indication of imbalance and lack of mutual respect in the relationship. After that tumultuous weekend, it became abundantly clear that I had reached my limit. The events unfolded shortly after my 40th birthday on August 17th, 2019. But it wasn't until January 2020 that I mustered the courage to leave. In the months that followed, I found myself meticulously plotting my exit strategy. I knew that timing was crucial. It had to be a moment that would cause minimal disruption to others, especially with my daughter preparing for college. So I quietly planned, ensuring that my decision wouldn't overshadow important occasions like holidays or birthdays. But why did I find myself orchestrating my departure from my own life? The truth is, I had spent far too long prioritizing the feelings of others over my own. The burden of enduring such pain became too heavy to bear, leaving me with no choice but to finally prioritize my own well being. The turmoil of that realization was overwhelming because the love I held for him eclipsed the love I had for myself. Yet deep down, I understood that I had to prioritize my own well being, as loving him was slowly suffocating me. It was disheartening to realize that he didn't grasp the extent of the pain he caused me. His obliviousness to his actions only compounded the issue. I reached a point where I could no longer tolerate being treated so poorly and demanded better for myself. I realized that the only way I could ever receive genuine love was by walking away. Leaving him was one of the most agonizing decisions I've ever had to make. But I knew that if I stayed, I would wither away. I would never become the mother I aspired to be and have the life I yearned for. It would continue to remain out of reach. So I left it all behind: the suburban home, the children, my possessions, except for what could fit in a suitcase, my pride, and even my identity. I knew deep down that I had to chart a new course and save myself. There was no turning back. That weekend marked the beginning of my journey to self-discovery by providing me with the space to contemplate what lay ahead. Little did I realize the challenges and triumphs awaiting me. Looking back, I'm grateful for the uncertainty of the future because it allowed me to focus on my why. The how gradually fell into place piece by piece as I forged ahead on my path of healing and growth. You may see me stumble, but you'll never see me fall. In my desperate attempt to salvage what remained of my crumbling world, I lost sight of everything that truly mattered. The irony wasn't lost on me. My efforts to control the chaos only propelled me further into the abyss of despair. My only respite came in the form of my mother and our compassionate neighbors, who took the kids under their wing, allowing us to indulge our addiction unchecked. Countless times I stared into the mirror, unable to recognize the hollow shell of a woman staring back at me. Had I lost her? Or perhaps I never truly found her to begin with. I convinced myself that my life was normal, that everyone lived this way, didn't they? What right did I have to complain? I had everything: a beautiful suburban home, stable jobs, well-behaved children, the quintessential picket fence. Yet each visit to the neighbor's house left me green with envy for the households who cherish their wives, for the husbands that cherish their wives, the quality time spent with their children, the serene lives they led. But I remained silent. To them, I was no different. I perpetrated the facade, but the charade was more suffocating than the truth itself. I had a husband who drank daily, smoked incessantly, and wore his bad attitude like a badge of honor. It may have looked picture perfect from the outside, but the reality was far from it. Deep down, I knew it, but I refused to acknowledge it. I wish I could say my drinking ended when I left him, but that would be a lie. In truth, it only escalated, spiraling out of control. I found myself consuming a quart of Tito's every few days, my memory fading, my hair thinning, my body bruising easily. I barely resembled my former self, trapped in a downward spiral of self-destruction. I was desperate to numb the pain, to escape the suffocating grip of reality. But the more I drank, the more reckless I became, jeopardizing not only my own life, but the lives of others around me. I had no regard for my own well being, careening dangerously close to the edge of oblivion. Yet I was too blinded by my own self destructive tendencies to see the precipices before me. It wasn't until one fateful night when my reckless behavior nearly led to my demise that I was forced to confront the harsh reality of my addiction. In a moment of sheer desperation, I attempted to fling myself out of a moving vehicle only to be saved by a thin thread of fabric clinging to my friend's grasp. As the cold realization of my actions washed over me, I found myself sprawled, half naked on my mother's lawn, teetering on the brink of oblivion. It was a wake up call, a stark reminder of the depths to which I had sunk. The following day, with trembling hands and puffy eyes, I boarded a plane bound for rehab, embarking on a journey of self discovery and redemption. For so long, I deluded myself into believing that my drinking was a byproduct of my husband's addiction. But when I could no longer place blame upon him, I was forced to confront the harsh truth. It was a problem that resided within me. I had to choose my hard. I could choose to keep drinking and slowly kill myself, or I could wake up and do the work and have a shot at a better life. What hard do you need to choose? More red flags. 1. Drinking. The pattern of excessive drinking, both by your husband and yourself, serves as a significant red flag. It not only indicates potential issues with alcohol dependency, but also contributes to a toxic environment within the household. 2. Verbal abuse and mistreatment. The presence of verbal abuse, characterized by demeaning language and mistreatment, is another concerning red flag. No one should have to endure such behavior, as it can have a profound negative effects on mental and emotional well-being. For the longest time, nobody, including myself, realized I was gasping for air. I dimmed my own light to shield myself from the darkness that enveloped me. His blatant disregard for my pain awakened me to a harsh reality. I was alone. Nobody could shine that light for me. I had to do it for myself. Here's the thing. Was he flawed? Absolutely. But was he the root of the problem? No. I had to confront the fact that I neglected my own well-being, stemming from a lack of self-love and self-worth. Fixing myself became imperative before envisioning a brighter future. Embarking on sobriety became a transformative journey. It compelled me to confront my inner demons and face the ugly truths head on. I grappled with a torrent of emotions. I cried, and then I cried some more. The agony of confronting my feelings surpassed the challenges of abstaining from alcohol or missing him. For years, I had sought refuge in distractions, whether it was indulging in drinking, eating, or shopping, anything to avoid confronting myself. I had spent a lifetime evading my own truth and snared in a cycle of chaos, caretaking, and people pleasing, all to maintain a facade of comfort and acceptance. These are the lies I told myself. Sound familiar? If I'm me, I won't be loved. I don't deserve better. I don't have anything special to offer. I need to please them to love me. I have to be happy to be seen. I reached a point of profound self-discovery at the age of 40. Utterly lost and terrified, laden with guilt and shame, I grappled with the concept of self-care, a foreign notion to me. Some days I'd be paralyzed by the numbness, sadness, anger, and confusion, grappling with how to proceed. With the support of AA and my sponsor, I learned healthier coping mechanisms, journaling, walking, reaching out for help, and learning to rest. Restlessness and agitation plagued me initially, but gradually sleep became my refuge, allowing my battered body to recuperate from years of abuse. Sobriety became my compass, guiding me towards self-discovery, one day at a time. Walking became my sanctuary, a ritual I observed diligently, finding solace in prayer and connection with the universe. I learned to believe in something greater than myself, finding solace in the embrace of God. I also embraced a motto. I refused to let regrets define my life. Instead, I committed to living fully and pursuing everything I wanted to accomplish. Becoming an author happened to be one of those goals. You know what they say, sometimes you have angels watching over you, and I've been fortunate to have a few good ones by my side over the past several years. There's a choice we have to make in life: to own our story and walk into it, or to live outside of our story, hustling for our worthiness. That's by Brene Brown. The moments that jolted me awake didn't happen by chance. They occurred because deep down, I knew I was destined for more. As I progressed on my healing journey, I came to understand my true purpose in life was to serve others on their own path to healing, helping them uncover their self-worth and self-love. I owe so much to the experiences that shook me awake. I know there are countless women out there, just like I used to be, staying small and comfortable to maintain peace, appease others, and avoid their own truths. I'm not here to judge. I've been there. I'm here to offer my presence, to share my stories, in the hopes that they might ignite a spark within you, illuminating a path out of the darkness. For me, the spark of hope ignited when I tuned into Oprah's podcast. Her words struck a chord deep within me, as though she was speaking directly to my heart and soul. Surrounding myself with inspiring individuals, friends, mentors, and delving into several personal development books I so loved, along with receiving unwavering love and support from my mother, all played pivotal roles in my journey. My children, my greatest teachers, had journeyed alongside me, offering love amidst my stumbles in both parenting and life. I instill in them the belief that life isn't defined by what happens to us, but how we respond. In turn, they teach me about resilience, unconditional love, and unwavering support. At times, we test the love of others because we struggle to believe we are worthy of it. It took years for me to open up, to trust again, and I believe Thomas entered my life to demonstrate that it was possible. He stood by me through the storms, the tears, and the moments of breakdown. Regardless of how I showed up, he embraced me wholeheartedly. The day Thomas came into my life, seeing beyond my pain and loving me through my darkest days, proved to be significant in my healing journey. His presence was truly a blessing and a gift. Anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you. We all need that guiding light to illuminate the darkest corners of our being, to awaken part of ourselves that lie buried beneath the surface. Often we're too close to our struggles to see them clearly. Doesn't matter what others say and do. Until we're ready to hear it or even notice it, we remain blind to our own truths. We are our own harshest critics, judging ourselves relentlessly. What we fail to realize is that everything we need lies within us. When we truly believe this, our entire perception of life shifts. However, we often find ourselves harshly judging our own actions and choices. The key lies in learning to forgive ourselves, showing ourselves love and compassion and grace. We must acknowledge that we're doing the best we can with the knowledge and resources available to us at the time. As Maya Angelou wisely said, when we know better, we do better. In coaching, one of the fundamental principles I emphasize is the power of changing our thoughts to transform our lives. Our thoughts dictate our emotions, which in turn influence our actions, ultimately shaping the course of our lives. By altering any one of these elements, we can initiate profound shifts for the better. In coaching, let's consider an example of a client struggling with self-doubt and negative thinking patterns. They consistently tell themselves they're not good enough to pursue their dream career. As a result, they feel anxious and fearful whenever they think about taking steps towards their goals. These emotions lead them to procrastinate or avoid opportunities that could help them progress in their desired direction. Through coaching, we work on changing their negative thoughts to positive affirmations. As they start believing in their capabilities and worth, they feel more confident and motivated to take action. This shift in mindset empowers them to pursue their dreams with enthusiasm and determination, ultimately leading to greater success and fulfillment in their professional endeavors. One thing I'd like to add to that is if you can't go from being in a place of negative thinking to positive affirmations, find neutrality. Find a middle ground, something that feels safe and comfortable in your body. Just level up a little to help yourself start shifting and moving in that better direction. With my clients, we go through the relationship roadmap, which essentially shows them that all roads lead back to themselves. We follow a 4-step process that focuses on mindset, which is the first step. Bringing awareness, right? And what are your limiting beliefs, your conditioned patterns? Where are they present, and how can we help start shifting those and unlearning those patterns to start creating new and healthy patterns for ourselves? Changing your inner dialogue, how we talk to ourselves. Just get curious about it. Start noticing and becoming aware of how we talk to ourselves. It's important that we can recognize that in order to start making shifts and changing that. Exploring your emotions, right? Get in your body. We are so detached from ourselves that we hardly even notice what we're feeling most of the time. So when we can get back into our bodies and start paying attention, it's when we're able to recognize what we are feeling and be able to start working through those feelings. Triggers. What is our response to the outside world in our relationships? Relationships are our greatest teachers. They mirror back some of the things that we need to heal and work on within ourselves. So it's important to pay attention to that and how we're feeling in our relationships, what's showing up, and why. Number 2 on the roadmap is self-care. It's important that we're able to take care of our physical well-being, our emotional stability and safety, our social connections, and our spiritual nourishment. All of those are tools and things that we work on in the course of this coaching sessions. We make sure we pay attention to, are you getting your body moving? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating the right foods that are nourishing your body? Getting enough rest? Paying attention to how you feel, journaling, taking some time to meditate and really be still and present with yourself. All of those things are tools that are healthy for you to start healing and working through your own transformation. Number 3 on the roadmap is skill building, cultivating self-trust, learning healthy and effective communication, and establishing boundaries. And number 4 on the roadmap is self-expression, setting and pursuing goals, taking purposeful action, celebrating yourself and your achievements, cultivating positive habits, and managing your time effectively. My coaching client, Sarah, approached me at her breaking point, engulfed in overwhelming pain and survival mode. The revelation of her husband's affair shattered her world, leaving her in a state of panic and fear, uncertain of how to navigate the unraveling of her life. Struggling to come to terms with this harsh reality, she felt utterly hopeless and devastated. All Sarah desired was the fundamental foundation of a loving, loyal husband who actively contributed to their partnership and family life. Instead, she found herself shouldering the burdens of maintaining their home, caring for their children, and managing finances while her husband prioritized his career. The news of her husband's infidelity left Sarah in a state of bewilderment and confusion. Despite her unwavering efforts to be a devoted wife, she grappled with self-blame and internalized the betrayal as her own failing. She struggled to reconcile the idea that she might not be at fault, clinging to the hope that salvaging the marriage was within reach if only she could try harder. Over time, Sarah came to the painful realization that saving their relationship required both parties to acknowledge the underlying issues and commit to individual growth. She learned that she couldn't bear the weight of their marriage shortcomings alone, and the healing required a mutual effort towards self-improvement and accountability. Sarah has been a long-term and dear client of mine for just about a year now, actually. And I'm proud to say that she has taken such a commitment to this process, and it shows. Sarah and I embarked on a transformative journey through a 4-step process, which I just spoke of, empowering her to recondition her thoughts and embark on the path towards healing, self-love, and confidence. Sarah is one example of many women who struggle to realize their self-worth. They look outside of themselves for validation and approval. It was not until I started working with Sarah that she could realize that what she was looking for on the outside, she had to find within herself. We're often fed the Jerry Maguire notion that someone else will complete us. But the truth is, nobody completes us except ourselves. The fairy tale idea of a knight in shining armor swooping in to rescue us belongs solely in fiction. It's not rooted in reality, nor has it ever been. In a healthy relationship, you're seeking a partner who can embrace your life, like adding creamer to your coffee, but they should never be the coffee. It's crucial to understand your own wants and needs and have the ability to communicate them effectively if you hope to build a fulfilling partnership. People aren't mind readers. They can't discern our desires and requirements unless we explicitly express them. Much of the frustration in relationships arises from the expectation that our partner should inherently know what we want without us articulating it. This is where self-discovery and understanding our own desires becomes crucial. It's fundamental. Unfortunately, these concepts aren't typically emphasized in our upbringing. Instead, we're taught to prioritize kindness, respect, and caretaking for others. While these are important values, they also contribute to the problem. It's a significant factor in why 80% of women struggle with feeling inadequate. When we internalize the belief that we're not enough, it permeates every aspect of our lives. The belief impacts our relationships, careers, and aspirations because ultimately we tend to settle for what we believe we deserve, rather than what we truly desire and are capable of achieving. My mission is clear. I want to empower every woman to cultivate a deep love for herself from the inside out. It's a mission born from the realization that as children we're taught to be kind, considerate, and mindful of others. But very rarely are we instructed on the art of self-love and self-care. Much like you, I grew up believing that everyone and everything else should always come before me. It was a pattern that I followed until I found myself overwhelmed, utterly exhausted, and with nothing left to give. It was then that I had to put down the superwoman cape I'd worn for so long and embrace a new way of living. The challenge lay not in knowing what that new way entailed or how to embark upon it, beyond the occasional night of quiet reflection or a soothing bubble bath. I felt lost, scared, and uncertain about the path ahead. Yet I took one small step after another, slowly but surely finding my way. Now I'm here to guide you on this transformative journey. Together we can shift from feeling trapped, overwhelmed, and perpetually putting others first to a life where you are in complete alignment with your true self. You'll learn to identify your desires and the steps to manifest them. You'll confidently say no to what doesn't serve you, knowing it only leads down a path you've outgrown. You'll stop tolerating nonsense and you'll step into your power firmly in control of your life. You take no shit and you stop playing small. You are in charge of your life, and for once, you'll feel really damn good about it. When I was lost and uncertain of my identity, I settled for less than I deserved in every facet of my life. My story could have unfolded in two ways. I could have remained in that comfort zone, enduring misery, or I could have taken a brave step to leave and embark on a journey of self-discovery, paving the way for a brighter future for myself and those around me. Thankfully, I chose the path of growth and transformation. Even amidst my most challenging days now, they pale in comparison to the struggles of my past. It took time, but I eventually found peace within myself. My joy is no longer found in material possessions or temporary distractions. Instead, it emanates from simple pleasures, like sipping a cup of coffee while witnessing the sunrise, witnessing the beauty of nature, and cherishing genuine moments of connection with others. For the first time, I truly understand what it means to live. The ultimate practice of self-love is perfectly balancing what you need today with what your future self needs tomorrow. That's by Roxane Afosi. Great book called Manifest. Highly recommend it. If you're feeling stirred by my words, know that I empathize with your journey. I've navigated through similar emotions, grappling with the need to make sense of it all and find clarity. It's a delicate dance we engage in with ourselves, especially as we approach moments of transformation and growth. You don't have to face this journey alone. Whether you need a listening ear or supportive presence, don't hesitate to reach out. Whether it's picking up the phone or sending an email, I'm here for you. Your story is important, and I genuinely want to hear from you. Your story matters. Don't ever underestimate the power of your voice, your experiences, and your journey. I'm Elizabeth Foster, founder of For the Love of Self Coaching and podcast host of the Self Love Lounge, and newly the founding member of the Self Love Lounge membership. I am a passionate advocate for self-love and empowerment, and I'm on a mission to ignite inner transformation. I hope you all will continue to follow me, to share your stories, and be a source of love and light for everyone, but most importantly, for yourself. I hope my story can help you in your own journey to healing, self-love, and transformation. Thank you for spending this time with me, for listening to my story, and I hope you'll continue to show yourself love, grace, and patience as you continue to do all of this important work that is messy but so, so important. I love you all to the moon and back. If you're grappling with addiction, please remember you don't have to face it alone. Seek the support you deserve and reach out to your local AA community. You're not alone in this journey, and there are people ready to support you every step of the way. Please reach out and find the help you need.